Welcome back to Revelation Time. Today we are broadcasting from Kenya, and with us we have Reverend Williams and Pastor Frida Rapando.
Thank you.
We have also Pastor Francis Wandero and also Pastor Matthew Jotam.
Amen.
And today we're going to be speaking about marriage. We're going to be speaking about tribe, Christian principle and values. Marriage is in a crisis proportion right now. In the Western countries, we have millions of people divorcing on a daily basis. Some marriages does not last even for 24 hours. Now, God is moving in Kenya because there's something good that they're still holding on to. Now, the Christian principle teach us clearly about marriage and submission. And, we want to hear what it is like in the next culture, how it affects Christian value, and the role of the father, the role of the spiritual father also, and what make marriage work. So we're gonna ask, we're gonna start first with any one of you. We just want to know for all the viewers, Romy TV and also YouTube, Facebook or whatever. Just let us talk about marriages and what's the process that we go through. Within the West, someone can marry without even consulting their parents. And people get married within the West and they will get divorced in 24 hours. For all the viewers, we have a discussion already and you'll be surprised in terms of some of the things that they have done, which we believe that we need to institute some of those stuff. Amen? Amen. Okay, so we were telling you that when someone, you are from different tribes, right? Yeah. We just want, what tribe you are from again?
I'm Reverend Francis Wandera. I'm Aluhia, that's my tribe. And I'm married to a Kikuyu lady. So I and my wife are from different tribes. Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Reverend Jotham Machio. I'm originally a Luo, married to a Kalenjin.
Oh, so you married to a different tribe also?
Yeah, from a different tribe.
My name is Reverend William Rapando, Eluhia and Sturgeon sub-tribe.
Okay.
I'm married to Frida.
Is she from the same tribe or different tribe?
One tribe and different sub-tribe. Different sub-tribe.
Oh, different sub-tribe.
Right.
Okay. So tell me something now. We're gonna start first with, and we can intertwine.
Jotham.
Pastor Francis Wandero. You meet someone from a different tribe, right? You know it's God's will. You fell in love with that person. What next would you do?
Well, if I meet someone from a different tribe, as a born-again Christian, love is love. It has got no boundaries. No boundaries in love.
Yes.
And there are some small aspects I have to find out from the person I love. If I am born again, I have to first of all know if she's born again and if she loves the Lord.
Right.
And if she loves the Lord and she loves me, then from there we can still plan, we can start to negotiate on how to get married if I propose to get married to her.
Okay, so once you love her, you have the tribal factor in place, you have our Christian principle, then it's negotiation time now. So tell me, in what way would you negotiate?
Well, somehow it's hard, but once you love each other, it doesn't become hard during the time of loving each other.
Okay.
When you are together. But once the process begins of getting married, now it begins to become harder. It becomes harder because some tribes, like the tribe I married in, it's not easy for them to allow their daughter or neither their son to get married to another tribe.
Okay. So you once you love that person and both of you are believer in Jesus Christ. What you do now, you in the West, once you love someone and you decide to marry them. Well, in terms of some different religion or different culture. In the West, it may be difficult. Like for instance, if the Jew married, out of their culture, some of them will be banished within the West, or Chinese or whatever. Tell me something now. You love someone, they are from a different tribe. What would you do? You would go to the father or the mother for blessing, or how would it work?
Yes, that is the procedure.
Right.
You don't have a shortcut unless the situation compels you to do that.
Okay.
But you have to go to the father, the parents, both parents, if they are alive,
Right.
negotiate with them.
Right.
If they are not all alive, there is a representative
Okay.
from the family.
Uh-huh.
So you have to negotiate. If they agree with you, then there is a dowry you have to pay. They are the one to tell you how much you have to give them. It's not you to tell them how much you're going to tell them to give.
Really?
Yes.
Then suppose you decide now that you're not gonna pay whatever they ask in terms of forgetting to release the blessing. What would happen?
Oh,
Or they decide that no, this is not. I don't think my daughter or my son is gonna be married into that tribe. What would you do?
you know what, Apostle? That is, we call it a negotiation.
Right.
It's not done in a day. It's not done in a week.
Really?
Yes.
Because in the West we can negotiate 1 hour. 1 hour and they get married.
No.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen that way.
Really? Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
So it's a negotiable thing, because when you go there. First of all, the first time you go, we call it the familiarization. Introduction. You go, the lady will introduce you as a man to the parents.
Okay.
And now you wait the answer. If they have agreed you or not. The mother may agree and the father may disagree. If both agree, that's good, well of you. Both of them can disagree with you and say, we don't want that man here. And the next step, they will tell you to go and bring your parents. The man to bring his parents. So that the parents, both parents meet and talk
Over the issue.
Oh, that's really.
Now, the negotiation of dowry has not yet begun.
Yeah.
It's not yet begun. If they come, they know each other, they talk with each other and familiarize. Sometimes you may go alone and the parents disagree with you or disagree with their daughter. Say, we don't want this. But when the parents come, sometimes they will agree
With him.
and with them and say,
Okay.
oh, it's you. Okay, fine. If it's your son marrying our daughter, that's fine.
So what are some of the factors that they would disagree with? You don't have to do with job or how the person present themselves.
Well, there's the
Because
diverse.
within the West,
It's diverse.
most parents would gladly want their daughter to marry to someone, not necessarily because they are a Christian, but because they might rich. They would say, well, this is the family that I want my daughter or son to be into.
Yeah, you see, there are so many aspects
Right.
that may cause them to disagree with you.
Right.
One, they may disagree with you because you are poor. Like me, the first lady that I wanted to marry was from the same tribe, but she ended up booting me, or how do you say, rejecting me, because the mother said that I'm poor.
Okay,
You see,
okay.
so you left. Well, it was so hurting. So she left me. Now I still went and got married to the same tribe, and some tribe will say, we don't mind about the money, we don't mind about the job, but as long as you will live and stay together with my daughter in love and love each other, fine. Some will say, if you don't have a job, you cannot take our daughter because she's going to suffer. Some will say, you cannot take our daughter because you are not of our own tribe. So that will depend on how, still as I say, negotiation with the parents.
Okay.
They have to come together and talk about the issue.
Okay, that is really good. So you said negotiation
Yes.
is taken over a period of time.
Yes.
Okay, so we are past, very well, we are going well. Matthew Jotam, just tell me about, what tribe are you from?
Well, I'm from Luo tribe, but I married from Kalenjin tribe, and I also experienced almost the same thing with the Reverend Wandera. Our people don't allow us to get married from to a different tribe. And a tribe that I married from, they also don't accept their daughters to be married to a different tribe. And we have such challenges. But the only advantage that I had is because of Christ.
Okay, yes.
You know, it's about love and the love of Christ that connected us. Though there were all those challenges, but because of God, I had to prevail. And finally we got married. And you find that from that tribe, they mostly consider your wealth ability, or the wealth that you have,
Right.
so that you may be able to marry from their one of their own. Without wealth, you cannot marry from their people. And they give you a condition, like they can tell you that you give a dowry of 50 cows.
50 cows.
Yeah.
Or 50. One cow would be very expensive here.
And one cow is very
Is 1,000?
Not 30,000.
30,000 shillings for one cow.
Yeah.
So it'll be 30 times
50.
30 times 50.
Yeah.
Okay, it's supposed to be
If they are kind enough.
1.5 million.
Yeah. If they are kind enough. If they are kind enough, that is the thing. And it is not the cows that you give them your own choice. No, they need to choose
For themselves.
for themselves
Right.
among some other stuffs, so that you may be able to qualify to marry from their own tribe.
Okay, okay.
And you find that you cannot just go on your own and represent yourself and be accepted. Initially, the way Reverend Francis had said, there is an initial stage whereby you go for an introduction. You just go there to introduce yourself to your in-laws. And at that stage, in most cases, they don't take you seriously. They don't take you seriously.
Really?
They don't believe in you. How can they just agree with the young person? And you alone, they need to see your parents.
Right.
If you have your parents, they may just tell you go back home. And if you have parents, let your parents come, so that we may see what you are telling us is serious. So if your parents happens to come, and that is when they are kind enough. When your parents comes, it's when they'll start talking or saying something about the dowry.
It will soften them.
Yeah, it will soften them.
Talking now.
Yeah, to begin talking. Yeah, they'll begin talking, and they'll start seeing some seriousness in the issue.
Okay, one of the things that used to happen in the West, like for instance in Jamaica, I remember those values and principles broken down. One of the things that used to happen, I remember when I was a child, and if someone wanted to marry someone, if they like them, the first thing they would do is meet the parents. And then the parents would, if the parents like that person, they would give them a day, try them in a day, like how they cook, how do they take care of, especially the women, the clothes of the person. If that person cannot cook or take care of the laundry properly, then what does that mean is that they would reject that person. And they also, what they used to do also is that the family background was very important. But all of those things break down, from the West Indies within America or England or wherever. None of these things really count. And one of the things that is happening is that divorce is really, really high. It is so high that people are getting divorced within 72 hours. And people will just go away, getting married to someone without even the blessing of the parents. Now, I believe biblically is that the blessing of the parents is important. In the Bible, it speaks specifically about the father blessing. If you don't get the father blessing, then there can be a problem itself. And that is what I want to bring. Now we have Reverend Williams and Pastor Frida Rapando. And their husband and wife. And you say you're not from the same tribe? Explain to us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, I'm from the Luya tribe, Tachon sub-tribe.
Right.
My wife is a Luhya too, but from the Kaparati sub-tribe.
Okay.
The Luhya tribe is found in Western Kenya. And from this tribe, we really uphold the values of marriage very much. The sanctity of marriage is highly upheld, because in the first place, before you get married, you have to know that marriage in itself is a covenant, is a lifetime covenant, whereby when you are entering into this marriage, you know that it's not something that you are going to change your mind after, say, 3 months or 1 year or so, because we both traditionally and on the Christian side also is more or less the same, because as I've earlier said, that it is a covenant between the two people and between the two parties. It is a union that is uniting either tribes or sub-tribes, that they are now becoming one unified tribe, that whatever will be conceived out of this marriage is something that is highly respected. So in the Luya community, when marriage is to be arrived at, in the first place, the thing that usually happens more or less like that is biblical, more or less biblical on the traditional side and on the Christian side. It's more or less the same. Because in the first place, we do believe, the Luya community believe that for marriage to last, it has to cost you. Because a good thing, as the Bible says,
yes,
whoever gets a wife gets a good thing. And a good thing is expensive. So if you have a good thing, then you will do all that you can to make sure that you keep it safely, you handle it nicely, you protect it, that is. So in the Luya community, dowry is also paid as a token of appreciation to the parents of the woman or the girl that you are going to marry.
Right.
So when you have been, when you give marriage, when after some negotiation and agreements, then you are yet to proceed to be given the wife. So let me begin on the initial stage now, that now how to one reach a point of now approaching the parents of the lady. In the first place, well, the man has to look for his fiancé, as we call it locally, the better half. If you, after getting your better half, you agree and you continue in courtship.
Right.
After a period of time, now after coming to learn of each other, then you decide now, the first place on the Luya side is the lady who is the man's side. She has to be introduced to her fiancé's parents. Now, if the parents will have to look at her and then they acknowledge that surely she's a nice lady to be married to their son, they will have no problem. They say, okay, if this is your visitor and your would-be wife, we welcome her. And or after some time, then the lady will organize with her people and they will have to go, the man will go to the lady's side, visit the parents, as my earlier colleague Wandera said, for introduction, and thereafter the introduction, you will come back again. Now that now your parents have known, even they see you now together, when you visit, now they know the kind of relationship that is being built in between you, the man and their lady. So after that, then the man or the young man will have to talk to his father, and the father will now write to the parents of the lady,
Right.
and tell them, our son is interested in one of your daughters,
God. Yeah.
and we plan to come for negotiation. So we don't know how you take it. well, a reply will be sent from the lady's side. Then after that, a date will be set when they will be meeting. Then the man's parents with other relatives will plan a day they will visit the lady's side, the lady's parents. They will go there, they will negotiate. Whatever, how much they would like as a token of appreciation to their lady. You know, they value now. There are some things when they are negotiating marriage. There are things that they value here. One is education of their daughter. Number two, they also value whether she is from a working class or whether she's not, though she might be educated, yeah? And also, they value from, it also depends with the kind of family that you are also marrying from. So they also consider that, so that when you agree now, or as you are negotiating now, you'll be bearing in mind that there is nothing that you are going to be given for free. You have to pay a price because you have seen her, you are delighted in her, you are interested that she will make a good wife for your son, right? So they have to negotiate. And usually in the Luo community, cattle is paid as dowry. We pay 12 cows and one sheep, two goats. The one goat is sent to the parents.
The sister to the father.
The sister to the father.
The sister
of the lady. Right. To the auntie.
Like my aunt.
Right.
Is to give a goat to my aunt, the sister to my father.
Right.
Oh, okay. Really?
Right. And another one is now to be accompanied by the animals.
Okay.
Yeah, the cattle. That is.
One have to accompany the cattle.
Right.
Right.
Then, and before now you send, after agreeing, now I'm talking now after agreeing, or that now they are going to marry, after agreeing on the dowry, the first place, as a token of appreciation, a man has to send about 3,000 to 10,000 Kenya shillings to the lady's mother as a token of appreciation for raising up such a beautiful lady for him, now to appreciate the mother.
They call it in Luya, breastfeeding bride price.
Yes. So, all right. So it's taken to the mother, and then to accompany that money, you also have to buy 2 blankets, 2 bed sheets, 1 overcoat for the old man, and also some oil. So you see, now this is the oil signifies a symbol of now acknowledgement of the durability of the covenant that you are about to make now.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But I need to ask a question.
Yes, please.
Within the West,
Yeah.
what if
Right.
you don't like a person, but your parents decide that this is a person that I want my son or my daughter to marry to?
Right.
How would that affect the child? Would the child obey or what? We need to know that.
Right.
I know before we speak in the Jewish culture, within the Bible,
Right.
before that the parents has the right. Remember with Abraham in the Bible,
Yeah.
who insists in terms of what best for his child, because they look on marriage as being so important, because they say, listen, if our daughter and our son do not marry the right person, then it can devalue the family, all the wealth,
Right.
that the family have built up will go to waste. So that is how they value for it. Tell me about that now. The parents like someone and said, this is who I want to get married to. How will they deal with that? Anyone that you can talk.
Now,
Yes, go ahead.
maybe in the first place, I ask for the community. What we consider first, before the parents consent to the marriage, and it's the parents who usually gives dowry for their son. So before they kill, they would have considered many factors, the background from which their son is marrying from.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they consider first before consenting to that marriage to take place. So if they find, if they, to them it seems that this lady, their son should not marry from this tribe or sub-tribe, then they'll have to call their son to talk to him, tell him why they are opposed to that marriage, and discourage him.
Okay.
Yeah. Before they advance to a higher level of that relationship.
Okay.
Right.
No,
Okay.
maybe if I can add, maybe you have said, what about if you have done
Get
everything
that lighter now.
and you find lights, and maybe you have done everything and you find that this is not right, maybe something was hidden behind, because before you can't change. You can change once you have begun the process. Yeah, we believe some tribes believe, especially if you are born again Christian, we take it seriously. If you have done it and you have taken it you have taken your spouse into marriage, that's it. So you have to live with it. You have to stay with it.